And we're live. Welcome to the Beardy podcast, episode 6, and this is the one with Damo for show. Welcome, Damo. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Am I in already? I thought you were going to bring me from the back to the front. And
Nah.
I'm already here. We're already here. Hello.
We don't do that. There's no special tricks here. There's nothing like that. I just bring you straight in and dive from there. We have with us Mr. Andy Black, or AKA Mr. Beardtings. How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? How we doing? Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm having a couple of beers and enjoying my weekend. So yeah, all good, mate.
It is right. We've got a couple of people in with us already. We do have Aaron. We also have Martin, who's turning around saying, "Doc's running late, tut. You know what? It's not even me. It's always Andy. Andy is always late.
Hey.
Whenever we do the pre-podcast stuff where we have a little run through, Andy's guaranteed going to be late, and he just delays everything.
I'm fashionably late.
Fashionably late is what it is.
For the record, yeah. I was super keen. I was well early. I've been there since half 8.
It was, I pulled in and then Damo's already there, and I thought, fucking hell, he's eager, isn't he?
I was legging it back from the shops with a case of Corona, mate. That was my issue. That's my excuse.
Whilst we are there, we're going to be talking about beers. I am drinking. I've got the Corona as well.
Hey.
Damo, what have you got?
I've had two vaccinations, so I couldn't get any Corona from the shop, mate.
Look at that. He's had to pull it in, didn't he? Always trying to be controversial. Where are we? Right. So, who else we got with us? We have Jason from Beard Manners. He's in with us as well. Jason, how you doing, man?
What's up, man?
And Martin is just turning around saying about the lateness. It's a troon thing.
It's a troon thing. It is.
Yeah, Martin's from Scotland as well. He completely understands. But you know what? Martin's actually normally pretty good. I'll give him that. Whenever we've had meetings and stuff like that, he's pretty good.
Are you from Troon, Martin? I don't know. Is he from Troon? Or is he just not? I'm from Troon.
I'm sure he'll come back through and he'll let us know. But yeah, so obviously what we do here, part and parcel of what we are a small batch supporting company, brand, whatever we are, podcast. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. I've only had one beer.
Group of pricks.
Yeah. Well, I think the original term was it 2 dicks on a podcast, wasn't it? 2 dildos on a podcast. That's where the X comes from. But yeah, so obviously we like to shout people out. So this week I am going to be giving out a shout out for a company called the Klansman Beard Company. I've been talking to them sort of the past week or so. It's fantastic people and really, really nice. Once again, it's another small batch brand who just does the basics right, just does that nice talking to people without being dicks. It's just been a lovely interaction so far. So I'm going to be dropping a review for them in a couple of weeks and go from there. Damo, who have you got for your shout out? Is anyone you want to shout out?
I have to give a shout out to Dave Green of MJ, which is obviously Mariner Jack. Mariner Jack have been on the scene for a long time. I am an ambassador for them, but I had some shades and I sat, and it's been sunny in it, so I had the old shades out, threw them in the car, went out doing some deliveries, sat on the shades, busted the shades. I was like, oh man. So I placed a little order with Dave, and what I love, although he is growing and he's doing really well, you still get that little note, and it's from his missus, and I bought a badge and a couple of other bits, and he's got some other stuff you can get for your eyes on that. And you're still getting them handwritten notes and that. There's still the love, still the care. So yeah, big up for Mariner Jack and Dave Green, and that his missus. Yeah.
Do you know, I think when you're talking about small batch brands, it's exactly that type of stuff which I love. It's them hand notes. It's that personal touch. It goes way above and beyond sort of what you're going to get from sort of all your big companies which are out there. And I love it. I just think that just makes it completes it for me. Stuff like that. Where are we? Right, Andy. So your shout out. Who have you got this week?
So I'm shouting out a member of my old fight team, Ian Postlethwaite. He is my first sponsored athlete. He's going to be fighting on the 7th of August at Evolution of Combat in Scotland. So I'm sponsoring him. He's got a great beard. He owns a gym called Ayrshire Fight Academy as well. So anyone in the Ayrshire area, if you want to start doing some MMA, some Thai boxing, or you just want to go punch some people in the face or get punched in the face, whatever you're into, check out Ayrshire Fight Academy. Check out Ian's Instagram. It's Ian Poss. He's been fighting for years. Solid fighter, solid guy. So yeah, I just want to give him a shout out. And he's always repping the Beard Things brand as well. So yeah, good luck to him on the 7th of August. I'm going to go down and watch.
Lovely. Good luck to him. And just sort of jumping back on. So Martin is from Stranraer. Is that the one?
Yeah, I know we are.
Yeah, that means nothing to me, to be totally honest, but it is what it is. We've also got in with us Brian Russell. We've got Daz, who is the Rebellion president, my UK president this evening. How you doing, man? Thanks for coming in with us. We're pretty full with my Rebellion guys today. Thank you very much, everyone. Andy, you got to sort your shit out, bruv. So whilst we're here, actually, whilst we're talking about beard clubs, Damo,
I'm just thinking, where's all my guys? Where are they? Where
exactly. Yeah. So what's going on? You actually have your own beard club yourself, don't you?
I do, mate. Yeah, it's Damo's Beardy Fun Club, and I set it up this year. I think I launched it in February. And it is a Facebook group, but we will be getting together and having meetups as COVID allows. And I've been involved with beard clubs for a long time. I've been growing a beard for 7 years now, and been in beard clubs for 7 years. So I saw where things could be done a little bit different or a little bit better, and just decided to do my own thing. And I like doing my own thing, being in charge of my own stuff. So I set up Damo's Beardy Fun Club, and the idea of it is, you don't even need a beard to be in it, because it basically teaches you all the things, all the common questions that I always see all the time plastered over all of Facebook. It answers all of those questions, all the info's in the club, but also it's about having fun. And we do a lot of interactive stuff that is fun. I've seen the rise and fall of plenty of beard clubs, and also there's loads more than there used to be, so it's harder to keep members, get members, and to get engagement from members. So I've really sort of gone a little bit niche with my club, and like one of the main things is you have to pay to be in it. Like, it's that good, you have to pay to be in it. But what that means, it means that everybody who's in it really wants to be in it, so they want to engage, they want to take part, they're getting, they want that value, so they're engaging. And it's a little bit controversial, because people say, well, there's loads of free beer clubs, and like, yeah, there is, and a lot of them are still good. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, and it really just depends. Why not have something for everybody? It's not loads of money, it's only it's less than a £5, so it just helps me to tick over the club. And to be fair, I'm giving away so many prizes all the time, I need that bit of money just to pay the prizes. So yeah, that's what it's all about. It's just for guys in the UK, because I wanted to make it so when we do get together, it's easier for everybody to get together, and that's it really. We just have fun. It's very small as well, so there's not thousands of people in there, so you don't get lost. There's only me as the lead and the moderator, so I'm on top of everything and making sure everything's running smoothly, and it works really well. I'm loving it. I'm having a good laugh with it.
So you don't have any sort of ranking system or anything like that? Is it just sort of like, as you said, as a moderator, and that's it? Yeah,
it's not got the sort of style of the villains and that, where you have the recruiters and everything and all that, and presidents. It's not that at all. It's just me and a load of guys, and I put on different things throughout the week, and I do like a monthly special with different things going on. And that's it. Yeah. So there's no sort of recruiting or hierarchy or anything like that. It's just me. No moderators, just me. But I've only got 30 members, so it's easy to do. So and I wouldn't want any more than 100, 200, because the whole point of it is that it is a bit more small. It's a bit more like you say with the small batch companies. They're able to look after their companies and give that time and that. That's what I'm doing in my group. I don't want 10,000 people in there, and for it to sort of lose its way. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, I think that's something which, as you said, when you are in a beer club, and obviously me and Andy can sort of talk from our own experiences, as you do grow, there are sort of complications which sort of come with growing. And I think it's nice, as you said, if you are going to stay small, that interaction can really, really be key. And as you said, if people are paying for it, they want to be there for a reason. And as you said, we're all there, and if you're going to do something like that, then as you said, you want to get your money's worth. Do you find that because you do have them type of guys there, it's almost a little bit sort of X-rated because you can be, because he's sort of, or are you guys still quite tame with stuff?
There's rules in the club, obviously. I think a lot of this, my background is I did 4 years as a prison officer, so I'm a bit of a stickler for the rules. And then I did 4 years as a drug and alcohol worker. And part of that was obviously running groups and doing different groups and helping people change their habits and obviously change their addictions, but working on making groups work and studying some of the psychology behind it and what makes groups work and what sort of things you need to have. So every group, especially when, like, the only thing they've got in common is beards, right? So, and that they're just men. But you have to have some sort of structure and some sort of rules, otherwise a group can go AWOL. And I've seen other groups do this when you try and be, yeah, it's all cool. You can say the C bomb and you can do all this. Like it's fun for 5 minutes and then it just gets out of hand. So yeah, there are rules, but it is, I think because it's smaller, people respect each other. They get to know each other more. You're not one of 10,000. You're one of 30. So actually you get to know the characters of people a bit more. People that perhaps are a bit shyer in other groups, they can come out and be heard. Some of the different things that I do during the week allows different people to shine on different days. So yeah, but we do have a laugh, and we're all grown up adults. So yeah, there will be things that we'd say that are funny, but there are some guidance. You're not we all know the swear words, but it don't mean you got to use them all the time. If it's appropriate and you're having a laugh, go nuts. But like someone brand new the other day dropped the C bomb in his introduction, and it worked out quite well. But it was it was a learning curve for him. But yeah, so yeah, you got to have rules, I think, to manage the ship really.
Yeah. So when did you start that up?
So I think I launched it in February actually, but it took me ages getting it all set up because I've done everything myself, like the logos and the branding and making sure I had some oils and that, because I knew people would ask for oils and balms, sorting out what I was going to do on what days, pulling it all together, having the systems in place to get people to sign up on a subscription, doing adverts. I know Andy's a big fan of my adverts. He was watching them earlier today when I'm running around the field in a pair of Speedos.
Fucking brilliant.
Is it just to be out there on Facebook and to grab people's attention, you've got to do something that's a little bit worse. So I borrowed the missus's pink dressing gown and I put some wellies on. I went for a run through the field. So but that's also, it's part of it's to let people know that actually we are going to have a laugh and there might be some silly things that we do. So that's that's the character. What I really like about DBFC is I can just be me. And if people like it, brilliant, pay your money and come and play along. And if you don't like it, brilliant, don't pay your money and don't be in the group. And it just allows me to be me, and I haven't got to worry about over moderation, or I haven't got to worry about other people's opinions or what other people want to do or anything. It's just like I can do me, and now I'm 40 years old. It's time for me to just do me and have a bit of fun, So
yeah, that's great, man. Right, just jumping back onto our comments. So Martin's had a go at me. He's turned around and said, I butchered the pronunciation. I'll tell you what, Martin, when we come off of this, you can drop me a video call and you can turn around and tell me what the fuck's going on and how I'm supposed to say it. And I'll come back next time. And I'll sort of, actually, no, Andy, I'll tell you what, because you're from Scotland, supposedly.
I'm fuck this up now, aren't I?
Well, yeah, you pronounce it for us.
Hold on.
And I want to hear the accent as well.
Babe, how do you say Stranraer? Stranraer. How do you say Stranraer? Stranraer. There you go.
Say again. Once more.
Stranraer.
All right, Martin, get back to us. Let us know whether that's right or not. And
that's
to be fair,
it's quite shameful that I don't know how to say it properly and I'm from up here, but I've only used some bit of English cunt as well, so.
And it's fucking cheating as well. You just have to go to the missus and ask for help.
She's beating all the bread, so have to ask the expert.
And we've also got in with us, we've got Carl from Carl's Bearded Banter.
Yes, Carl, he loves Speedos. He does love the speedos, doesn't he? How you doing, Carl? Carl is he runs he's got his Banter Towers, his Facebook page. He's also got the Private Beards, I believe is the page as well. Two big Facebook pages as well, aren't they? Carl's got his own YouTube channel, which he's smashing views at the moment. I think I see something on one of his posts the other day. He's hit 25,000 views or something like that.
50,000 was up there the other day. I'd say.
He's just absolutely pelting it, and that come out of nowhere. I think over the last month or 2 months, he's just jumped thousands of views, which is really, really, really good. So, Daz, I've got your question there, but I'm going to come back to that one because that's actually one of my questions, which I've got.
We've also just had Ian, my sponsored athlete, jump in. He's watching as well. Says Andy's half Scottish. I'm actually 3/4 technically, but we'll leave. That's fine. So I should know if I can say Stranraer.
It's no excuse. Every time you talk to Andy, you say, "Oh, I go to holiday here, or I went to sort of this place," and Andy's like, "Yeah, I used to live there. Oh, I used to live there."
I'm an international gypsy. I've been everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
What I actually mean, I'm usually on the run from certain governments, so I have to move around a lot.
That's okay. So just before you we jump back into this, you spoke about your beard products, which you've got. So you've got your Damo for Show beard products. So what ones have you got? What have you got? Oil, balms?
So I didn't know. I've got them here. I'm talking about them. I've just kept it really simple, right? So to take all the hassle out of it, I just spoke to a pal of mine from Essex, and he's put them together for me. And it's just dead simple. There's 6 cents across an oil, a balm, and a tash wax, and that's it. No mucking about. I only ship to the UK because I don't want all the hassle of international posting and that. And there's no postage and packaging costs or anything. It's just dead simple. It's an oil's $5.99, a tash wax is $5.99, and the balm is $5.99. So it's just dead simple. You can go on the website, go on the Shopify, go on my Facebook store, and just oil, balm, and tash wax. That's your basics, what you need. And it's good, affordable stuff for day-to-day use. And the 6 flavors are pretty typical flavors across the range, but I've just stuck my face on them, on the labels, and put my names on them because obviously Damo for Show is my nickname, which I've had for a long, long time. So I've got Lemo for Show, which is the lemon one, and hours and hours of marketing went into this. Look, the strap line on this one is "This lemongrass will kick your ass." I mean, I've spent thousands on a marketing team come up with that, but honestly, I just knocked them out really quick because it's more off like this is the stuff I give away for prizes. This is the stuff that we play for every week, and it's nice for people to like who have not they don't know anything about beard oil or anything. They'll come in the group and it's like, right, this is an affordable stuff to get you started. However, I do recommend Mariner Jack because I'm an ambassador for them, and also without prejudice, here are all the other companies. Here are all the people I know on the beard scene, and my job is to educate these new guys to the scene who are and obviously preferential to the UK independents, but giving them an unbiased view of meet the business owner. That's what I do in my club. I do reviews. I do interviews, fun interviews with the business owners, so they can really find out about what is going on. Because there's so many people that just don't know anything about bearding, and they ask these questions, and they just get jumped on by use this code, buy this. So it's sort of a place where I don't mind if they buy my stuff. I don't mind whose stuff they buy. It's absolutely up to it's their choice, But I wanted to have something there because otherwise I'd be missing the trick. Because some people do buy my stuff just because it's got a picture of me on it, and it's nice to put in the collection,
Yeah, I think something which obviously, like in my Rebellion group, once again we've got a group of blokes, and they're always the question is always in there. Oh, what does anyone recommend? What does people recommend? And being a lucky person, I've got sort of a load of different products. I've reviewed a load of different products. I can pretty much say what's good and what's not. And it's always like, right, here's a list. Go and sort of see what you want. I have my preferences, don't get me wrong. But it's just sort of like, look, there you go. Here it is. And people go and have a look. And I think there's something, as I said, with the small batch brands, if you know they're good, you're always going to have your bias ones, but you're like, look, let people make their own mind up. We're all adults. We don't need to be handheld to get stuff. But it's nice to give people that option, I suppose, isn't it? Apart from Andy. Andy just wants everyone to buy Beardy stuff.
No, I don't. I'm shouting at everyone all the time.
It's true, and that's something which actually it's really nice in the community, isn't it? Sort of, Andy was doing this sort of quite a bit, and quite a few other beard companies were doing it, where they were actually shouting out each other and going, "Look, have a look at this company, have a look at that company," and that was nice to see. I think it's died down a little bit at the moment, but it's quite a few brands were doing it. It's nice to see.
It's good, and that's the thing as well. I think we're all here because we're beard enthusiasts. It's not like I would never think that someone's trying to steal my customers. I'm trying to steal someone else's customers. It's like you share customers. Like everyone wants to buy different things and try new things out, and it's not like and it helps each other as well, because I'll have a certain audience, and then I don't know, like we had Callum from the Bald Viking on last time. He's got a different audience. It's good to just kind of like do shout outs for each other, and then people are going to try your stuff that wouldn't try it usually. They'll hear about your company. It's about spreading the word, really. And the main thing is, it's small batches. It's like it's a one man making his own stuff. We're all out here to, kind of promote the community, help everyone out, and then make a little bit of money on the side as well. It's all good. So, no, I love it. The community is awesome, and actually, Damo, I think we need to do a little. We should do a little product swap. I'll send you some stuff. We'll try it out. We should do it.
Yeah, we can do that. I need to get you on my fun interview, mate. You need to get it set up.
Yeah. Be warned.
No, don't give it away. Don't give it away.
All right. Be warned. It's a very different interview. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Sounds good.
We do have a request though. So Damo, considering you do have your own beard products and beard things, Andy, someone do a candy cane or an after eight mint scent. That's
great.
I think there's. I think I've seen a candy apple scent, caramel candy apple or something like that.
Yeah. I know that Balbo does a love heart one, which kind of like the candy, the sweets kind of thing. They do love hearts. That's nice. That's really nice actually. But what's the other one? He said after eights. After eights will be interesting. Mint and chocolate.
I can't remember what the company's called now, but there was someone who done a lime and chocolate. Corkhead, that's it.
Okay.
Corkhead Bros. They done a lime and chocolate. I suppose that's as close as you're going to get at the moment. So just jumping back onto you, turn around and saying that you're a third Scottish. No, you're actually only a quarter. And do you know what? I'll stick with Martin. You don't want to fuck with Martin. He's a feisty little Scottish person who's really he's about 50, but he pretends he's not. And because if you look at him as well, he's aged really badly. And just dropped in, we do have John from Big Fat Beard. John has done a fun. What do you call it? A fun to view?
Yeah, it's fun to view. It's like an interview, but with a bit of fun at the front. Yeah,
there we go. John's done a fun to view himself with Damo in his Damo Fun Club, which was John gave me a very subtle heads up. He did turn around and say to me, he went,
I'll be having words.
No. What he did, he turned around and said to me, when he knew I was going on, he went, you will never experience an interview, a podcast like this. I went, what do you mean? He went, I'm not telling you. He went, but you will never experience a podcast like this. He does things very, very differently. And honestly, Andy, if you do get on,
I'm down. I'm DTF, down to fun.
Interview.
And all I'm saying, Damo, is you will have a fucking field day with Andy.
I can't wait to start doing the prep work.
Yeah. I'm all up for it. We're good.
So from Martin, you even think the word beard and you get bombarded with adverts from TPS, Copenhagen or Arthur J. Hawke.
Copenhagen works. Copenhagen's how they say it, so that's okay.
To be fair, Martin, you've just shot yourself in the foot there, because typing them words onto the internet, mate, you're definitely going to get them now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. You're fucked now.
And to be fair, Odin's as well. I think I get a lot of stuff from Odin's at the moment as well.
It's usually me talking.
Yeah, because Andy was a
reviewer. It was, yeah.
Well, whilst he was reviewing at the time, he was asked to do some social media stuff for Odin's, and we had this interview where all Andy did was sat there, looked at the camera, and said about 72 times in the space of about 4 minutes.
It was my first. It was my third ever review. And I was like, and then yeah. I had to squash that habit out.
Yeah, I kid you not. We literally counted the amount of and it got to about 70, and I was like, "You are taking the fucking piss. How can
I have replaced the word with cunt, and I say that a lot now instead. So yeah,
it is where we go.
What constant adverts come up when you say the C-bomb?
Usually Pornhub.
To be fair, it's not even that. It's I get worried about my Wish when I get the Wish adverts pop up.
Yeah, they're horrendous.
Fucking cat gimp masks and shit like that.
Actually, you know what? I just realised maybe that's why I get so many TBS adverts coming up, because I use the word cunt a lot.
Oh.
I thought you'd give up going after TBS after you've done your
Got to drop a little bomb now and again, haven't you?
you just aiming for people. We do have tell the Goggins story, Damo.
Is this David Goggins?
Yeah, my mate Dave, is what let's call him.
He's my fucking hero. I love that man. I've read his book 3 times now.
You're gonna love this story. And did you say you met him?
No, I've read his book 3 times.
Oh, you read it?
But he's a fucking beast.
So I do you want the long one or the short one? I went to his it's not a cucumber, mate. I got recommended his audiobook by a mate of mine who was he was a PT in the gym, and he said, "Oh, check this out." So I listened to it. I'm like, "That's amazing." At the time, I was just sorting myself out to do my charity run, which I think we might talk about later. But I did a long endurance run for charity, and then after that, I heard that Goggins was coming over to England, and he was doing this Expert Empires speech, and it's like one of them 2-day events where I learned more about it afterwards, where they're basically trying to sell you loads of crap, but they have guest speakers to get a massive audience. And I put it out there, thought, you know, I really want to go, but it was like 500-600 quid. Tickets were up to $1,000. I'm like, right, I can't afford that. I ain't going. And then, like in the last minute, another guy got asked to do a speech, and he had tickets going for like 70 quid or something. I thought, you know what, sod it, I'm going to go. So I went to this 2-day event, and I thought, you could win on a raffle. If you turned up early, you could get in the raffle and you could win an hour with David Goggins, like as a chatting in a room, like 10 of you or something, right? And I put it out there into the universe. I am going to win this. I changed all of my train times and everything to make sure I got there on time, to make sure I got the raffle ticket. And there were so many little things that happened leading up to this amazing event that you wouldn't believe it. I did a YouTube video about it. But long story short, I actually got to meet David Goggins. And it was as I was going into my hotel room, he was staying in the same hotel on the same floor, and he can walk around the corner, right? But bear in mind, I've been doing this sit-up challenge with one of my other groups. I'd done 400 sit-ups in the gym. I'd gone to the bar to order my food for the night. I'd had a beer with some other fellas, and then I was walking up, and as I walked into my hotel room, I just seen his bald head behind, like the sun coming through the light. I'm like, shit, I think that's him. And as I went into the room, I was like, shit, get my phone. I'm going to get a selfie. My phone was at the bottom of my gym bag. I'm scratching around like a twat trying to find my phone. I come bursting out the door, and he's there with his missus. I'm like, hey, David, I saw you earlier. I'd seen him earlier in the first day I got there. And I'd bottled it, asking him for a selfie. So I weren't going to do it this time. So I said, oh, you know, can I grab a quick photo? And he's like, yeah, sure, man. I'm just going to dinner. And he's a proper, like, SAS Marine, like, yeah, like this. And then I said to him, do you want to do a sit-up competition? And I was thinking, like, in the gym, like tomorrow morning. And I'm like tomorrow morning, you're going to the gym in the hotel? Because he'd done a video of him in the gym in the hotel the other night. And I'm like, and he's like, fuck yeah, we'll do it right now, man. And I'm like,
I can bet he did.
I'm like, all right. So I give my phone to his missus. I said, can you film it? And she filmed me and David Goggins on the 5th floor of this hotel room doing a sit-up competition. And he fucking hammers me because I've had a beer and I've already done 400 sit-ups. And also, he's the toughest man on the planet.
Just do there. Just put that in there.
And no, to be fair, I let him win because obviously it's being filmed. I didn't want to do it for
of course.
But then on the next day, they did like a Q&A. and I got picked to ask him a question, and it's just brilliant. I won't spoil it for you. Go and watch it. It's on YouTube. But then, like, I don't know, about 6 months later on his Instagram, he talks about it, and I'm like, fucking hell, he's talking about
That's so cool.
So it was just one of those. It was an epic experience. But there's on my YouTube channel, I did an 8-minute video which shows everything you need to know. But then there's another one that tells you the whole story. There's so many reasons why that shouldn't have happened, but it did. Real tiny little nuances throughout the day and decisions and choices and stuff that led to that moment happening. There were so many of them. So it really was quite fate that I bumped into him because, for example, the hotel, the phone wasn't working. I had to go down to the bar to order room service because the phone didn't work, and little things like that. If that hadn't have been like that, I wouldn't have seen it. And it was absolutely crazy. And also, if I hadn't have seen him the day before and bottled it, asking him for a selfie, I probably wouldn't have had the courage the second time to absolutely. Yeah. There was loads of little things like that. It was amazing.
That's fucking awesome, man. And the thing is, if you're ever going to challenge any man in the world to do something, and you don't think they're going to do it, and say yes, let's do it fucking now. It's him. Like he's the kind of person. His mentality, he will never turn down a challenge. But fuck yeah, let's do it. Anyone watching, if you don't know who David Goggins is, like go on YouTube, type in David Goggins. He is the toughest man on the planet. He's an he did Navy SEAL training 3 times, Army Ranger training in the US. He did Delta Force training as well. He is just an absolute savage. And I challenge any man to listen to his stuff and not look at yourself and think, I'm a pussy. Like, the man's a beast. Like, read his book. It's called You Can't Hurt Me. I've done it. I've read it 3 times now. I listen to his book when I'm out on the bike, and it's like, and then you have that little voice in your head. Oh, I've done enough now. I'll turn back. And then you listen to David Goggins and no, I'm gonna fucking keep going.
So was he like suited and booted when? No,
this is David Goggins all over. He was going to dinner, and him going for dinner is in his shorts and t-shirt and trainers because he's just a beast. He's just all about that.
Yeah,
he's very minimal. Have you read his other book when he trained the he went and lived in with some American DJ or something?
No, I haven't read that yet.
It's not he can't say that it's David Goggins, but it's blatantly David Goggins, and I think it's called Training with a Navy SEAL, and he's some big rich dude somewhere, and Goggins went to live with him. And when you get the whole out, like Goggins turned up, he's got like shorts and t-shirt and a bag. They're going out for runs at 3 a.m. in the snow, just in his shorts and t-shirt. That's how he lives.
I've forgotten who that guy is, but he was on the Joe Rogan podcast talking about this. And David went to stay with him. But yeah, and if anyone just watch the Joe Rogan podcast with David Goggins, and you'll understand who this man is and what a beast he is.
Well, Martin's just turned around and said he only knows about him because of Joe Rogan.
That's how I found out about him too.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, Damo, couple of questions for you. We've got a couple of quick fire questions we're going to go for. One which Daz has actually pulled up already, so we're going to go for that one first. Men's grooming. What's your pet peeve? Just one thing you go, stop fucking doing it. What's your pet peeve?
Spelling my name wrong.
Have I done that as well?
No, it's what Daz has put. He's put Dama.
Daz, are you being called out?
Dama, what's your biggest pet peeve? Name spelling. In beard grooming. I think to have a pet peeve, you've got to be really passionately annoyed about something, and nothing really surprises me or annoys me. I forever see people that have had horrendous beard trims. So perhaps going to a barber's uneducated or not having the balls to make sure the barber does what you want doing. It does upset me a little bit when I see people that had majestic beards, have gone for a trim and it's come out horrendous. Maybe shit beard trims. That's what is my pet peeve.
Because to be fair, you surely haven't trimmed in a very long time.
Well, this is 7 years worth, right? So I'm not the biggest or the longest, and I have had a lot of trims to get it this nice, to be honest with you. I measured it earlier in case you were going to ask. It's 13 inches at the minute, but I think...
Are you still talking about beards?
Yeah.
It's Ali G style, isn't it? Nothing wrong with a 12-inch.
So, I've had a couple of trims, but it's been hard going to get to where I am. It's a long time.
All right, Daz has just come back in.
It's all right. That's all right. That's all right, Daz.
To be fair, all you got to do is just read one of my reviews and you'll see my grammar is absolutely atrocious, which Martin regularly corrects me on. And so does Tony, the bearded Brit. He's not here at the moment. But yeah, my grammar and spelling is absolutely atrocious. So don't worry, Daz.
Tony is the grammar feds all over. I get it all the time from him. He looks at my website. He's like, this is wrong. That's wrong.
I'd done a blog the other day. It was the CPSR, and basically it was just sort of just going through, because I've seen a lot of sort of reviewers and sort of other people talk about CPSR and sort of getting your products sort of legally compliant. And all you do is just people turn around and go, yeah, get your CPSR and that's it, you're ready to go. And that's a load of bollocks. There's a load more behind it. It's sort of like getting your labeling done, what you need on your labeling. It's getting your PIF file, which basically is all your information for your products, getting registered on the EU or UK portal. The UK, you've got the OPSS, which is something which One Society corrected me on. And it's sort of getting all that type of information. And that's how you become legally compliant. And so I'd done this blog sort of detailing everything. And it's just a guide for people the companies just to go, look, this is sort of how you should do it. And it's the small batch companies who just don't have their labels right. And it's just trying to help them up. And Tony, literally within about 15 minutes, if that, of me posting it and saying it's ready to go, he sent me a screenshot of about 20 different images of like circles, like grammar's wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And actually, do you know, when you say talk about the devil, and he does it here.
There he is.
What's up, Tony? So with Tony, we're just talking about yourself and sort of how you are Mr. Grammar Police, how you sort of correct everyone. It's Tony. He's fantastic like that. But he knows his shit. And at the end of the day, that's why I need Tony to correct all my type of stuff.
So I want to know, Dan, did you go back and change it all?
Yeah. I've got no shame. I've got no shame to that. As I said, I know my grammar's poor. I'm not great with that type of stuff. I put it out how I think it's right. I make mistakes. I've got no problem with admitting that. And that's when Tony comes back through and goes, Dan, you're fucked up. And that's when I go back and correct everything. I think
nowadays, though, you don't have to be prim and perfect anymore. I think being real and authentic is massive. And if you've got a couple of spelling errors and that, if I see someone who's done something spelling error wrong, it does stick out like a sore thumb because I notice stuff. But it doesn't make me think, oh, they're terrible, they can't spell, I'm not interested. Like I just think, well, that's cool, they're real. And sometimes you just got to put stuff out there and not worry about it being perfect. Great if you got someone in your corner who will proofread it for you, but maybe you could do that before you post it out or not. But yeah, I wouldn't stress about it.
I'm the same with my stories. When I do I'll use like Canva and make a story about a product or something like that. But every single time I'm like, I'm only focused on how it looks. When I write some stuff, I don't even grammar check myself at all. And I'll put a story out, and the amount of times I've written beard thongs instead of beard things, or something like that.
No. Hold on, Andy. The worst one which you done was you put the wrong. He done he was doing a sale or something like that. It was and he put the wrong date in, so he ended up putting
the wrong year.
The wrong year in. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? He was like, you have a sale.
Now, not 2020. I was like,
you have a sale, but only if it was last year.
Yeah.
And once again, that was thing. But yeah, Martin sort of just turned around and saying, once again, he's fought so hard not to try and break down. I fought so hard not to do a breakdown of your grammar mistakes. As I said, it's not great, unfortunately. But as Damo says, it is what it is. It's I don't mind. But Martin's got this obsession. He thinks I'm rich for some reason. I don't need to spell I'm rich and famous. Coming from the one who lives up in Scotland, who's got literally a fucking castle. So he can't say shit. He just pretends. he just pretends he's not rich, but he is. And sort of Carl jumping back in. Grammar is ever changing. What was acceptable yesterday may change tomorrow. Exactly, especially when you're using Urban Urban Dictionary. If anyone doesn't know what that is, jump online, figure out what that is, because that's
there's some interesting stuff on there.
There is some really weird stuff. If you just type in, go into Urban Dictionary and then type in like angry pirate and shit like that.
Oh, the angry pirate. Love the angry pirate.
That's some weird stuff. So we do have a question, actually, Andy, just throwing back to you. Have you took a bit of length off your beard?
Yeah, I've taken a good 2 inches off of it. I'm training in a new career at the moment, and in the career there's a lot of physical
standing on your beard.
Yeah, a lot of physical violence involved, and like restraint techniques. And one of them I have to we're doing like handcuffing techniques, and you're taking people down on the ground, and you're getting handcuffed behind your back, and you're on your chest. And I've had people like literally standing on my fucking beard and not noticing him. I'm like trying to speak, but I can't because I'm fucking like this. So I decided to take a couple of inches off it while I'm in training, but I'm going to grow it back again now because I feel half naked, mate. It's weird. It hasn't been this short. So yeah, it's not the size that matters; it's how you use it.
Yeah, shame you can't do either. And just sort of running back onto sort of beard clubs, this is exactly what I've got to put up with sort of in my beard club. Once again, Martin just turning around and saying Doc is rich and famous. I've got where are we going? Once again, him jumping back onto, he's got a 3-bed terrace, and I supposedly live in a Victoria villa with multiple wings and a butler. Once again, this is just abuse from the guys in the. This is literally from my president and from my VP, and this is all I get all the fucking time is them not having a go at me. It's ridiculous. So yeah, so pet peeve. So Andy, I have to tell you what. Tell me your pet peeve. One pet peeve which you've got, which you see guys do.
Sticking to one brand and just like saying this is the best stuff in the world, but they've never tried anything else. Like that's the whole point of what I mean. It's what we're all trying to do here. The whole point of this entire podcast and what we're doing is to give variety, give people like options. I like this, I like that, try new things. There's a lot of people that are like tied into one brand. It's the best thing ever. It's this, it's that. It's like, how do you know that? Just because it is.
Kind of like what? Kind of like TBS, basically.
Sort of like that, yeah. But there's a lot of other ones as well. You know, I mean, it's just why would you say that something's the best and go try anything else? It's the same with like, for example, beer. Like I like to go to little craft beer places and try loads of new shit all the time. When I eat, I like to try new food. Why wouldn't you do it with any other products? You know. So yeah, I think that's my pet peeve. It's people saying this is the best, but then they haven't really tried anything else. So go live your life.
Carl backs you on that one as well. Sort of once again, look beyond your backyard. There are plenty out there. Carl's used plenty himself, so sort of he would know. And he's, as you said, there are plenty out there. So why not have a look, experiment?
Yeah. On the note of pet peeves, one of the pet peeves is doing a podcast, drinking beer, and needing to piss. So I'm going to be back in a second. This time, I'm not going to be doing it in a Bud Light can. So I'm going to go be civilized male and go to piss. Back in a second.
Yeah, see, Andy has a very, very weak bladder. And normally he pisses on the podcast, but just in a can and you can't see him. He asks a question, looks away.
You can tell he's doing it.
Yeah, and then he comes back to you. So thankfully, he's actually decided to be nice and go off. So right, we do have another one. So what is, once again, this is going to be one of my questions, but Tony's come in as well. One product, what's the best product you've used and why? And I tell you what, I'm going to exclude Mariner Jack.
Is that for me, that question?
Yeah, that's for you. I'm excluding Mariner Jack.
That's all right. I would have actually said not a Mariner Jack product anyway. I think what was an eye-opener for me was the first beard butter that I tried, and it was a Rune Silk one, part of their nighttime shizzle. Because for a long time, I was just oil every day, balm for hold, and then tash wax for if I'm doing my tash nice. And I hadn't considered like a butter or needing a butter. And then when I realised that I could put something in it before bed that smells nice for snoozing, and actually off the back of that, I actually went and got some Urban Gent their beard butter as well, and that was actually really light and fluffy, and it's so very different to Balm. If you're not into butters yet, I would recommend absolutely getting one for nighttime and using it. So yeah, I would say either a Rune Silk or an Urban Gent nighttime butter.
Yeah, it's the Rune Silk butter is fantastic. It's very different as well. I mean, there are very different varieties there. So you've got John from Big Fat. He has a nighttime butter as well, but it's extremely light and fluffy. He must whip it for about 2 days solid. It's ridiculous how sort of light and fluffy it is. But then you've got the Rune Silk butter, which I believe he whips and folds it, which is a little bit different, but it's a little bit thicker, but it's so nourishing. It's fantastic. I mean, you've got Beard Illusion. They do another product as well. And
awesome butter, that is.
It's another awesome butter. It's Redeem, just really, really good. He knows what he's doing. He's rebranding tomorrow. He's releasing a new rebrand tomorrow as well. He's got some fantastic butters. But yeah, definitely, I think the Rune Silk butter, I sort of agree with you. That is a really, really good one. But we do have another question. So what's the worst? Which product which you've used?
Big Fat Beard.
Do you know what? I haven't used any of John's stuff actually. I don't know. Over the years, I've tried loads of different stuff, and I'd say some of the worst ones that I probably couldn't even put names to. But there was a period of time when loads of people were just knocking out their own stuff from home and selling it, and this was before. Now there seems to be so many proper beard companies now, and new ones coming up all the time. But back then, a lot of people were doing it without the CPSRs and without proper websites and without anything and shipping stuff out. So I've had some really like greasy oils. And you know what? I couldn't even remember the names of who they were, because when I was doing iBeard Club, we used to get sent loads of different stuff. People trying to, wow us with stuff. And so any of the oils that are really greasy, I can't handle that. So your oils have got to be decent and not too greasy, I would say on that one.
So you're looking at pretty much like anything off of Amazon, all the Amazon stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of people were just selling stuff on eBay as well. This was like even before Amazon, really. A lot of people were just doing their own stuff on eBay. I honestly can't even remember the brands, but there were just loads of them all the time.
Yeah. Andy, call me one out. What's the worst one? Worst one you've ever used?
Got to be Bulldog, really. I just don't like it. I mean, it's the first one I used. It's the first one I think most people have ever used. I mean, I got it was like a secret Santa at work, and it was when I just first started growing a beard, and someone gave me some Bulldog products, and it's not really. I mean, I don't know the worst one I've tried is. I mean, TBS stuff's pretty shit. Bulldog wasn't great. I got actually for a laugh. I was it B&M or something, and I forgot what the brand was called, but it was a quid. It was a beard oil that cost me a quid in B&M. It was actually probably still better than Bulldog, but I just like the small batch stuff. I think it's just more. There's basic rules you got to follow making beard products. There's basic ingredients you need to stick to, and I think a lot of the stuff you get in high street supermarket stuff, it's just got all these extra preservatives and all this extra shit that you just don't need. But it gives it a longer shelf life, and I feel like that just it really degrades the quality of products, which is why I always go small batch. But yeah, I think any bad product, the worst products I've used always tend to be the mass-produced, big boys in the market, and anything small batch is always better than all the mass-produced stuff shit.
Yeah, we've got so Martin just turned around saying Bulldog, us horrible. You saw your fucking grammar out.
There we go.
Yeah, saw his shit out. We got Daz turning around saying, I can think of one shit company, but I'm not going to say the name. I think we all know what you're saying, but not a problem. I think Jason comes through and says it himself. Bulldog is almost as bad as TBS. But you know what? I'm going to call Jason out on this, because Jason was supposedly offered a place as one of the original TBS ambassadors, being one of the big, because he's such a big physical lad, looks like a Viking. He was actually offered one of the positions, but thankfully he did turn it down, and he moved on to doing his own stuff, where he's obviously Beard Manners, which I've done a couple of reviews for him. He's got some lovely products. He used some really, really nice ingredients. And yeah, he's developing. It's just a really, once again, he's another small batch company who's come in and tried to get involved in the community. And Jason is, well, as you see, he's here with us now. He's been involved massively with the UK Beard Portal, and he just wants to get involved in the in everything, really.
He just needs to get in your hot tub naked for 10,000 likes on the gram.
Oh, mate, he would 100%. Jason would get in, because whenever I talk to him, at some point the hot tub always comes up. So I know if I offered it to him, he'd be there, 100%.
I like that comment, but so Martin, I mean, I love sugar beard stuff. I really like their balm, actually, because I like the real hard set balms. I mean, the balm I do is my one I use. I was quite inspired by Sugar Beard's balm, because there's no shea, it's just mango butter, and it's really hard. And I like that I get like a really strong hold with it. But I love Sugar Beard stuff. Absolutely. I really like their oil. The oil is quite a light oil, and I like light oils, and I like really heavy balms. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Sugar Beard. And the lads who do Sugar Beard are sound as fuck. They're based down in Swansea. Is it Newport? Newport. Yeah. Just down the road from Swansea. Yeah. They've got a barber shop. We're going to go down there at some point and do a MTV Cribs beard sort of thing. They've got like a whole beard HQ. It's got like a fucking bar, pool table, dartboard, barber shop. So we're going to go down there at some point and do a little bearded podcast MTV Cribs thing.
If you need a film crew, Andy, hook me up. I know one.
Yeah.
Don't they do?
I was going to go down my Sony's EV1 and just do it.
I'll get some proper boys down with all the proper swag.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, all the Sony cameras. Don't they do tattooing as well, Sugar Beard?
No, they don't. So I think they have like close friends who do tattoos, but they do make tattoo candy, I think it's called. So they do a tattoo aftercare product as well, but they don't actually do tattoos themselves, even though that their branding is very it looks very tattooy. And I love their branding. I love their logos. Every single product they do has got a different bit of artwork. It's a really fucking cool brand. If anyone hasn't checked out Sugar Beard, what are you doing in life?
Yeah. We have Paddy Williams, who's in.
That's one of my DBFC crew, that is, Dan. And he's also an angry pirate, interestingly enough.
Welcome, Paddy. Thanks for joining us today, mate. You are a little bit late, but don't worry, we forgive you. So, Jason, just jumping back onto Jason, because he's decided to try and defend himself after turning around and saying he wasn't quite the original. They were in the low hundreds when he tried it, but after one summer, he decided to bin it. So
I think it's the same with all of us, though. Me, you, Dan, that's how we met. We actually met through the whole TBS Ambassador shit. You, Sean, did a bear reviews, but that's the same thing. We kind of quickly realised there's other products out there. Let's try some other products, and then that way we quickly realised other stuff. Going back to my pet peeve, most of the people who are ambassadors will never try anything else, and why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? You know.
Exactly. And sort of Jason just turned around and going back onto that about the hot tub, £1 per follower for the hot tub. I tell you what, Damo, if you turn up in your dressing,
you've got an OnlyFans account or something, mate. What's going on?
No. What we're going to do, Damo, I want you with us in your missus' dressing gown and the wellies as well.
Done.
And we'll have three of us.
I'll borrow my missus' dressing gown as well. Wear some Y fronts. I'm there.
This is top secret, right? But in my DBFC, the cover picture is all of us in our dressing gown having a beer, and I photoshopped it so we're all on the beach, but in our dressing gown having a beer.
Ain't top secret anymore, mate.
No, it's not. And interestingly, two of the guys have got matching dressing gowns, and I'm like, are they in the same house, or it's just a popular dressing gown that the missus has had? But dressing gowns is a look, mate.
Right, I tell you another question. So this is going to come for both of you. So Damo first. So Damo, I know you don't do reviews, and when we were speaking a little while ago, it was one area which you purposely sort of refused to go down. You was like, I'm not going to do reviews. Considering I'm a reviewer, good, because I don't want competition. But so I'll tell you what is your pet hate for reviewers? Because obviously you've got to have seen stuff in the past. What's one thing you look at and go, oh, for fuck's sake, these boys don't know what they're talking about? Because you've got so much experience, you must know stuff. Come on.
That bit you just said there, Dan. Fuck, these boys don't know what they're talking about. Just quickly, I've done 2 reviews. I've done 2 reviews of my own stuff, and it's took me months. I've got 6 flavors, and I've only done 2 of them. It took me 3 months. But yeah, I don't want to do them. It's not my bag. It's not my thing. But I think give kudos to the people that are trying it and going out there and doing it. But I just see so many people that are doing it without the research and the knowledge and. But then I kind of admire them for the gusto for doing it. Well done, getting yourself out there, getting yourself on the, putting yourself out there. But ultimately, like, if they do a little bit of research, I don't want to see somebody putting oil on their hand, rubbing it into their beard and saying it's nice. Like, for me, that's not engaging content. Yeah. Some of them are obviously just trying to push the product because of they got their code or whatever. But even the people that are showing you how to do it, it's like, well, I can tell you've been bearding for 3 months. Why you're not the best person to go to for this. But having said that, everyone's got to start off small and learn along the way. We've said there that Andy's done a million ums in his first one.
You learn. As long as you take on the feedback and learn from it, it's all good.
Years ago, I did do some for a company that's not around anymore, Fuzz Muzzle. I was an ambassador for them. They were banging, actually. They had sticky toffee, which was revolutionary at the time. No one had done anything like that. And it was amazing. It was a little bit like Marmite. Some people loved it, some people hated it, but I loved it. And I did a review of their Tash Wax. It was a real good laugh and a bit of fun, but I just didn't have the consistency to keep on doing it. But when there's people like you guys on the scene, when there's a website like the UK Beard Portal where you've got experienced reviewers all in one place, there doesn't really need to be, anybody else doing it. People, new people will come along, but I think, look, if you're actually going to base your purchasing decision on a review, then you should really just go and look at some of the more in-depth, better stuff like you guys do. I don't think many people watch Dave, who's got a 3-month beard, rubbing it on his face. I don't think they go, yeah, I'm going to buy that. Yeah. So how effective is it? I don't know.
I think that's a good kind of topic to talk about, the whole review thing. I think I think one thing people underestimate is it does take a lot of balls to actually video yourself talking about something and publish it online. I remember I did my first video review, and I remember sitting in my room. I wrote a load of notes. I didn't know anything about video editing, so I did it all in one long take. And now, if I do anything now, I'll do small takes. So you learn as you go. But I remember before I did it, I was fucking shitting myself. I remember doing it, and I did one review. The first one I did a 10-minute video, and I fucked it up, and I started stuttering, and it's a load of crap at the end. I was like, oh no, I've got to do the whole thing again. And it's it does take some balls to actually do a review, and everyone does start from somewhere. I look at my first few reviews, even my most latest ones are still shit, but my first reviews were awful. But I think I love seeing people come in and start doing reviews. A lot, I'd say about 98% of people or 95% of people who do start doing reviews won't stick with it. But I think it's a really good thing to do, because the way the world's going, speaking to a camera like what we're doing right now, it's an amazing form of marketing. You have to do it for most jobs these days. I think it's really good to get into, just to kind of expand your skills and get used to speaking to a camera. I think it's a good thing to do. But at the same time, it is frustrating when you get a review and it's someone just saying, as you said, yeah, really nice. And it's let's just kind of expand on that a bit. Why is it nice? What is it that's nice about it? Is it the scent? And what about the scent is it that's nice? How is it compared to other things? What about your personal preference? Does it make it nice? It's going that kind of I like to see a review that goes that next level and make it a personal review, because every review is a personal opinion. It's not like a fact. So it's good. It's good to see that personal touch in reviews instead of just, as you said, bog standard. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's good. You know.
Yeah, I think like for me, a pet peeve for a review is sort of just not watching the person grow. So if I'm going to watch a review now, sort of someone or read someone's review, I will actually go back and watch an old review of them. And if they're still doing the same content and then if they've not evolved and they've not grown in some type of way, then for me it's like, well, how can you keep up with the times? Because products are changing all the time. People are bringing out new products, they're using new ingredients. So you've got to evolve and you've got to change yourself as you go. If you're still doing the same thing, it's completely different. So like when I started talking to Carl, I went through all of his old reviews and I watched them, and you can literally see how he progressed and how he started off on some of his first ones and gone from there. And I said, for me as a reviewer, I said, you have to evolve, you have to be confident. I respect everyone who jumps on camera. I do my reviews written, but as you said, for me, you've got to evolve. Look at that. He's such a pig, isn't he?
Fucking room service, mate. Room service.
He brings the pizza onto a podcast just to piss everyone off. We're all going to hear him munching now. So
I want to see that cheese dripping down your beard, Andy.
Oh, look at that.
So we've got Paddy. Paddy is said the main reason I look at a review is to understand the provenance of the product and the evaluation of the ingredients to make sure it's good for your face, beard, environment, so on and so forth. Fucking hell, you have some really intellectual people who can write some good words in your group, didn't you? I was almost struggling with that, to be totally honest. But yeah, as you said, it's that you got to look and see what they're doing as well, whether they're doing it right. But sort of as Jason's just turned around and says, he can't read or watch a review for someone who's just got an awful beard. It is very much true. If your beard does look a state, whether you are, like I said, written or a video reviewer, if you don't look like you can look after your beard in the first place, Damo's sitting there with his glistening beard. I can literally see the shine off of your beard as you sat back there. If it doesn't look like you know how to look after your beard, then sort of how can you give advice?
I totally agree. Like, I don't want to keep talking about the company that shall not be named, but you get a lot of people doing reviews that, like, I'm not being funny, mate, you don't actually have a beard. Like, how can you review a beard? Like, it's like, I don't know, me. I can't think of something to be relevant, but like, it's how can you review a beard product if you don't have a beard? It's like me reviewing fucking tampons. I'm not gonna fucking use tampons, so why do I fucking review them? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, and that does get to me. It does annoy me when you see like, and also another thing that actually annoys me are the tutorial videos. I feel like it's someone saying this is how you use a beard product. You need to do this. You need to use 3 drops. You need to use 10 drops. You need to use the whole fucking bottle. Like, just do what you fucking need to do. Like, everyone's got their own way of doing it. Like, I use a shit ton of oil when I put it on. I like lather up. There's something like you do this. Some of the tutorial videos get my tits.
Hold on. Didn't you do a tutorial video not too long ago?
Don't know what you're talking about.
I've seen that one actually. And there's a little tampon string coming out the top of your jeans.
Yeah.
I put it in my bum.
There's like mine turn around and saying, it's like him reviewing dandruff shampoo. Not that you can see, but he's mine's not had hair since the age of about 12. And yeah, just jumping on. He quite likes broad beard stuff, but their prices are ridiculous.
I think with some of Broadbeard stuff, he has massive bottles though, so that's why a lot of it does look more expensive than it is, because he has like 50ml bottles. But the Broadbeard stuff is good. I've used that and I've met John a couple of times.
He's got a lot of products, and I mean, I've never actually used his stuff. He trains at a gym that I trained at a few times years ago. He's Glasgow based. I think he trains at the Grip House. I've never probably chatted to the guy, but his stuff looks fucking awesome. His merchandise looks really cool. I love his logo. It's really cool. He's got some good ambassadors. He does a few, like, he sponsors a few athletes and stuff. But I was blown away when I looked at his website and the amount of products he has. And he does like loads of limited edition launches and a really, really cool looking company that I need to try.
John's got all his stuff together. He does it all really well, even with his podcasting and his videos and his editing and that. Everything's all top notch. And he like I say, he's got MMA fighters, and I got him hooked up with one of the powerlifters from the gym I was managing, and he's an ambassador for them now. But yeah, he also runs the Broadbeards competition in Glasgow, which is the Scottish competition, if you like, and it's always a banger. It always gets good reviews. It's always good time. So yeah, it's good stuff, Broadbeards. But yeah, price wise, a lot of it I think it's because it's bigger bottles. But then there are expensive things and there are cheap ones out there. But it's just, I think what's important actually, looking at what Paddy said earlier, like he's interested in the provenance and where stuff comes from. Some people are interested in that. Some people are interested in the smell. Some people are interested in what it's going to do for their beard, and different people like different things for different reasons. So a review, if it covers all of that, is great. And I think for some people it is a big expense. If you've had a beard and you're now under the impression that you need to have this stuff to make it look good and people are talking about it, and you see it, it's like it's a little bottle of oil and it is £6, 10 quid, 15 quid, 20 quid, a lot of people might be like, oh shit, well I want to make sure I'm buying the right stuff, so I will go and have a look at reviews. And when you've got other people that are saying, oh, yeah, you can use some coconut oil from Asda, people that don't know, they are going to be conflicted. So I think reviews are important for those sorts of people. Mm-hmm. I think I've only just realised that now because I've never been in that position. I think since I've had my beard, I've always been surrounded by people doing it and giving me some oils, or I'm trying some oils and not spending a lot. But I think you could spend a lot of money. And if you spent 20 quid on something that was naff, 20 quid's a lot to you, you'd be pissed, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's definitely something which, I mean, as you said, when you're talking about sort of certain companies who, I mean, I was talking to Wee Smoky, Gary Hamilton on sort of Instagram not too long ago, and he's got a beard oil, and if I remember right, it's about 70 quid for like a 50 ml bottle. It's very, very special. He sent me the link. It's very, very special. And I said to him, I said, is it good? And he was like, yeah, it's fucking fantastic. It's not worth that much, but it's just like it comes in a lovely fancy bottle, like an old fashioned, like almost crystal type bottle, and it looks amazing. He's like, it's not worth it. Not the product inside is not worth it, but it just, you can get the same thing for like £10.
Have you seen the proper naughty stuff that's new coming out?
No, what's that?
He's a guy from Essex, and he's on the gym scene, and that he looks like he's doing it all really awesome. But he's got these bottles that are like skulls with a lid on the top. So I guess it's moving into the place where 4, 5, 6 years ago, people were just shipping out in plastic bottles and not much going into it. But now there's more competition. People have got to stand out. So if you have got a fancy looking bottle or something a little bit different, or, I think it's because there's more competition around now that people are trying to do things to grab attention, to buy stuff for novelty. And like you say, it might not necessarily be worth 70 quid, but people are buying it because it's a nice bottle. When people do that with aftershaves and that, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. It's I think reviewers are, I mean, sort of Jason sort of just pumped in as well. He believes that reviewers are vital right now for companies and consumers, as the market is it's very saturated at this point in time. I agree and I disagree, and this is sort of a really conflicted area for me because obviously I am a reviewer. I agree that there is a need for reviewers to a certain extent, but on the same side of it, there is a need for competent reviewers. And that's the difference between the two. But it's very, very hard to sort of get experience without going out there. But on the same side of it, someone who's been out there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, however, sort of needs to step their game up. And it's about finding competent reviewers. And I think that's very, very hard because there's so many people out there who just go out there and throw a bit of information, and it's bad information. And that's where the problem arises. And it is what it is. I think you're going to find that when you go on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you're always going to find people who think they know their stuff and they don't, and they're going to put that type of information out there. And this is why I always turn around and say, for me, don't just look at my reviews. If I'm doing a company, whatever, if I'm doing Rune Silk, don't just look at my reviews for Rune Silk. Go and look at someone else's as well. Go and look at 2, 3, 4, 5 different reviewers' opinions on Rune Silk, and then make your decision whether it's right or not. Don't just go for my one. I've got no problem of encouraging other reviewers, but just make sure that you are going to cover certain facts, so to speak. So maybe scent. So for me, it's like scent longevity, oil longevity. They're sort of at least the minimum 2 which you've got to be looking at. Is that oil going to nourish? How long is it going to nourish for? Is that scent going to be nice? Does it warrant it? And how long is that scent going to last? Ultimately, it's going to cover. It's sort of a couple of things which everyone needs to know. If you want to go into more detail of like how nice the bottle looks, the branding, whether it feels heavy in your beard, whether it's greasy, and all that type of stuff. All right, you're sort of going above sort of almost what's needed, but you've got to have that base knowledge. And if it's something which for me, I've built up with Andy during Bearded Bear reviews, and sort of obviously jumped into my own stuff now, but you've got to use loads and loads of different reviewers and understand what's best for them.
One thing actually, Dan, going back to like not pet peeves, but just things that I think reviewers need to kind of do a bit more homework in and research is, I've had a few reviewers that have been great at this, and they've like, when can we talk? Can we talk at this time? We've done a phone call with them, and they asked me loads of questions. They're taking notes about me and who I am and why I started my brand, what my inspiration was, how did I come up with this scent, how did I come up with my carrier pages. That's fucking brilliant. But I've also had people that have done a review, and when they've gone to speak about me and my company, they've basically word for word said the exact paragraph that I've written on my website that's about me, and they've literally just read that. Like, it's, I mean, yeah, I'm glad you're doing a bit of homework and looking at, stuff, but like, go the extra mile, find out about who you're reviewing and what makes them tick. What made them make this product. And I think that's a big thing. It's not just about because we're small batch. It's like one man band, one person managing and building a product line. What makes them unique? What makes them good? Go speak to the companies, arrange a phone call, send them a bunch of questions you want answered, and then you can talk about that in your review, I think. And a lot of people literally will just read word for word your about me page on your website. But I think that's something that needs to be done.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of comments sort of dropping in. So Martin's just turned around saying I'm the trust pilot for beards. Not quite. It's what the UK beard portal's there for. That's trying to take it away from me, and we're trying to put it to the beard portal so that we've got loads of reviewers and loads of opinions for people to see. So we've also got Paddy saying the reviewer having endorsement from the community is key as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. You got, as a reviewer, you've got to be in there. You've got to be involved, and that's no different to sort of beard companies and beard owners, and no different like for you, Damo. If you want to be successful in your sort of beard club, you sort of have to be there. You've got to have, I suppose, you've got to have a good-looking beard, and you've got to be out there in the community and turn around and going, "Look, this is who I am, and come and join the club, and I'll show you how fucking great it is as well." And we've also sort of got Jason sort of popping in saying this is why he does not hide his love for the UK beard portal. Hopefully, well, I say hopefully, it's going to be a massive change for us, for the UK brands. So hopefully that's what it's there for. It's there to help people. It's going to be there to help brands, help them sort of get.
How many brands have you got on there now, Dan?
I can't tell you off the top of my head, unfortunately.
Roughly.
I believe we're sort of on around about 20 odd brands. And these are small batch brands. And bear in mind, we only started, Tony may be able to tell us, I believe it was April. It wasn't too far. So Daz is just going, Daz, see you later, mate. Thank you for coming in.
See you, Daz.
Yeah, it's we've only got around about 20 odd brands, but we've got quite a few good of the small batch brands involved. So we've got Bigfoot Beard, they're in with us, Rune Silk, Dan from Ruin Silk, he's in with us as well. The Urban Gent, they're in with us. We've got some lesser ones like Beardings. He's sort of come along with. So like Beardings, Big Fat Beard.
How many do you reckon there are to go for? Because look, I mean, 20 is a massive pile to choose from if you're new to bearding. But I mean, how many literally are there in the UK? Roughly, is it 50, 100, 200, 300?
Oh, small batch. I think there's hundreds. There are hundreds which are there, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are loads of companies who are sort of in this, because obviously we're very much Instagram community, and there's loads of small batch brands which we haven't even approached yet, and sort of really gone through them. We've just been trying to get them involved, get as many as we can involved for now, because everything at this point in time is done by me and Tony, and we have our board where we're trying to use the board to help us sort of make decisions, because it's all well and good me and Tony sort of being there and making all these decisions, but we need help, we need advice. So it's best to go to company owners, other reviewers, and get their opinion and go, look, this is what we want to do. Do you think it's right? And if we're getting overruled and they're going, no, do you know, that's a silly decision. I mean, you know what? Clearly, we're sort of doing something wrong. So that's why we've got the committee board there to help us sort of make all these sort of tougher decisions. And we've got a couple of things lined up. So we're going to be introducing like a badge system to sort of help companies and help consumers as well look at the company and just see these badges and go, look, the labeling's perfect. They've been running for a year, 2 years. It's sort of like consistency. They've been able to sort of produce the last 3 years. So it shows that they're obviously reputable and that they're working well. There's sort of a couple of other ones which we're working on. So we're going to be introducing a badge system. We're also going to be we're going to be doing soon. I'm going to bring Andy back in because he's just come back in. We're going to be doing a beard competition as well very, very soon. We're just sort of finalising the charity which we're going to be doing. And Damo, this was actually after I spoke to you, after we had the fun interview. And we're going to do a beard competition, and the idea behind it, the entry fee will be a donation straight to the charities, because there's going to be a Just Giving page and your entry fee will go straight to charity. It's not going to come to us, and it's because we're trying to help the community. We're going to try and help people. So to have the committee there and to have everyone involved, like people like Jason, Big Fat, Andy, Beardings, and all these other guys, it's just going to bring that community together and hopefully boost everything up. We've got a long way to go yet. Long way to go. But it looks promising. And like I said, with the support of sort of companies like Jason from Beard Manners, support from sort of yourself, from Carl, because obviously Carl Sullivan, he's involved with us now. He's one of our reviewers. And just from the support from the community which we're getting, it's working. But as I said, we've got a long way to go. But we'll see how it goes, man. We will. Where are we? Right. So another quick question. One piece of advice you can give to any new beard grower. What is it? Just one. What's your key bit of advice?
Join DBFC, mate.
There we fucking go. Look at that plug. You know what? I'll even take that.
One of the strap lines or the hashtags in the club is "Let it grow." I think the biggest piece of advice I give to anybody new into bearding is just be really patient and let it grow, because too many people try and do too much too soon and don't realise the patience and the time it takes to get a decent beard. So yeah, there isn't really just one thing. You need to do more than just let it grow, obviously, but that's one of the main ones. Is just to let it grow. Just be patient with it and let it do its thing.
Yeah, it's something which I always recommend people as well. It's the 3-month rule. So for me, is I turn around and say to people, don't trim at all for 3 months. If you're at that point where you're like, I desperately need to trim in 3 months, fine. Have your little trim, a very, very light trim, if you need to, but at least only do it every 3 months. And like I said, for me, it's just like if you can go longer, go longer. But if you're going to keep trimming it down and sort of going all the way, sort of trying to cut it all the way down and stuff like that, it's never ever going to grow. Don't get me wrong, you've got these amazing derma rollers and shit like that, which I'm sure is going to fill out your beard. But on the same side of it, it's if you keep shaving it monthly, weekly, or whatever, it's just not going to work, is it? Let's be totally honest. We've got Martin sort of just dropping in through the amount of people who ask, how did you get your beard so long? Yeah, stop shaving. Just it's pretty easy, really. Andy, are you back with us, or is he he can't hear us? That's fucking great. Perfect. Oh, he can hear us, but we can't hear him. That's perfect.
We'll have to do you have to nod for yes and shake your head for no. We're just doing yes or no questions. Is that all right with you, Andy?
This is the professional which I have to put up with time after time again. Someone who doesn't remember his charger, someone who needs to go for a slash halfway through the interview.
He's had 3 fags of a pizza and a piss and 4 beers. He's fine. He's having
It's just sit there and smile. It's amazing. Andy, you do understand that this is on YouTube so that people can hear. It's also on Spotify so that people are going to be listening to the podcast. How do you expect people to tune in when you can't even speak? No, typing is not going to work. Typing doesn't work on Spotify. Fucking amateurs, which I've got to work with. So Damo, quick question. Where are you from? We've already gone through that. We've already answered that question, but Tony was a little bit late.
That was before we went live, though, I think. My hometown is Rugby Town, bang smack in the middle of the world, in Warwickshire. But I presently live in Banbury, Oxfordshire.
There we go. So Paddy's sort of jumped back in. DBFC, it is true, to be fair, mainly because of the support, really. It can be intimidating growing a beard when all you see is huge beards. We all started with smooth baby faces. I don't know, Damo, you look like you was born with a tash, something like that.
My tash game is pathetic compared to others, to be honest with you. And I made the schoolboy error of trimming it over the lip for many years. And I'm really trying to grow it out now, but it is thin. But yeah, I only really started bearding properly. I used to do sales. I was on the road, so I was in a suit and clean shaven all the time. And when I jacked that in, I then used to have stubble forever. But that was from when I was 26, and I'm 40 now. So I have not got a tash game like that, Dan. But you just have to love what you got. Whatever you've got, rock what you've got. And it's not about having the biggest or the shiniest or the nicest smelling. It's about loving what you got.
I tell you what, if you want to talk about tash game, I implore you, go onto Instagram, type in Ryan the Bearded Burn. The bloke has the best tash out there, and I will challenge anyone to go after him. He's honestly, Damo.
I think I've got him already.
I guarantee if he was to go into a beard like competition, he would have a chance to sort of win. His tash is absolutely phenomenal.
I got him.
Yeah, he's really, really good.
I will raise you, Lewis Monkey Aylmere.
We'll have a competition. We'll put this on the stories. I'll tell you what. Yeah, we'll put this on the stories tomorrow, right? You send me a picture of your guy. I send you a picture of mine.
Go and have a look. It's a bearded monkey, and that's monkey with a U. Yeah.
Wait, is that not how you spell monkey?
No, it's usually M-O-N-K. There's no E either. It's a U and no E. Bearded monkey.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, we'll do that tomorrow, actually. We will I'll do a story, and we're gonna do your guy versus my guy, and we'll see who wins. So you better get your Damo Fun Club guys to vote.
Worst case scenario, I'll come second, and my missus likes that.
Hey. But we do have. So does Andy even have a tash? No, he doesn't. He doesn't like stuff over his lip. He's just going to sit there and type furiously. No, Andy doesn't have a tash. He doesn't like stuff over his lip. He's not the type of person, and he just hasn't got the patience, if I'm totally honest as well. He says he's got a little one. Oh no, we're talking about tashes, Andy. Andy's got a little one. That's what he's turning around and saying.
I think Paddy's nailed it there, Dan. He's called it Tash Trumps, mate. I think one of your competitions has to be Tash Trumps.
I tell you what, we're gonna aim for this. We'll try and sort out a competition. I want some of your lads, your DBFC lads. Pick me 5 lads. We're gonna go 4 lads, 2 with beards, 2 for tashes, and we'll have a Doc's bearded reviews against the Damo Fun Club. And we'll see who can do the stories. You'll have to do some stories on your Facebook, because your Facebook is a lot better than what my one is. I'll do the Instagram and see what we can do.
Yeah, I'll do it on the gram and the Insta. I can do that. Let's go DBFC.
Yeah.
Quickly start recruiting. Hang on.
You got fucking no chance against me. Oh look, Andy's fucked off again. Fantastic. That's great. So once again, it's professional. Who are we talking about? He's the British and national champ of 2019. So once again, this is Tony, who supposedly corrects my grammar. Is this your bearded monkey?
Yeah, he could be a British champ.
Ooh.
I'm just keeping that under the radar.
We'll see. Yeah, I still think Ryan's going to go for it. He will give anyone a run for his money. But yeah, where are we? So jumping back onto yourself, Damo. So you've done a hell of a lot of charity work.
Don't like to talk about the charity work, mate.
No, it's definitely something which we like to bring up. You've done a lot of charity work over this sort of quite a lot of years, really. Let's be totally honest. But your most recent one, which you've got coming up, what's that one all about? What's that your?
So I've actually got one next weekend, which was supposed to be in March. And this is Andy would like this. It's a shame he's not here to listen. But David Goggins, the guy we were talking about earlier, he does it every year actually. And it's usually on March the 5th, but because of COVID, we couldn't do it. But long story short, the challenge is you have to run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So the task and the difficulty is obviously the endurance, it's the sleep deprivation, it's the running at night, it's the running with the pains and the aches, and I don't even like running. My training has been horrendous over the last few weeks, so it's going to be really difficult. But I agreed with my best mate to do it. His dad passed away from a brain tumour, not last year, but the year before now. So we're doing it to raise money for the brain charity. Just set a little target, I think, of £500, and we've already got £400 already. What's quite good about this one is because it will run for 2 days, I'm going to do as much social media as I can. So when people get to see us doing it, that will hopefully encourage them to sponsor or share the link and the page and that if they can. But yeah, it's going to be tough. So the two of us will be running 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. And it's catch-22 really, because if you run it quick, you obviously get back in and you get more time to rest. But it's like, when was the last time you actually did anything consistently for 48 hours without any proper sleep or drugs? And also it's actually a lot of running anyway. Like you do the maths, what's 4 miles 40, like what is it? Is it a marathon or something, or 2? I don't know. But it's a lot of running, and I don't even like running. But we do these things for charity to raise awareness, and we'll give it a bloody good go.
That's something which, when I read, I was like, "Fucking hell!" That's almost sounds too much. It's a grueling process which you're going to be putting yourself through. But I mean, as you said, it's for a good cause, and it's sort of stuff like that which grabs people's attention. So how if people wanted to sort of donate to that, how would they be able to do that?
There's just a Just Giving link. It's on my Facebook page. It's on my Damo for show. That's my work business page, if you like. It's on my personal page, and I'll be splatting it around. But it starts We've actually just changed the time, actually. So it's going to start on Friday at 5 o'clock in the evening, which means, play our cards right, we'll be able to watch the England game on the Sunday if we're not too knackered. So the first run will be 5 o'clock Friday evening, and I'll be posting it over the socials. And I know what'll happen by the time it gets into Sunday. I'll be knackered and it'll be poor. But I'll definitely start off with a lot of stories and Insta stuff. There'll probably be blisters. They're probably as well. You know, me and my mate are probably going to fall out because I can imagine it's getting quite ratty and tired. And we're good mates, but we haven't ever done anything like this before. I don't think he's considered it yet, but I'm probably going to get pretty narky after a while. But it's a real. Having not done anything like this before, it's going to be a real interesting challenge just to get like the eating right and get the rest right. And because I'm awful, if I get like try and have an hour snooze or something, I'm just terrible after that. I just don't feel like good. So it's going to be like catch-22 about, you know, also having a shower, or do we have a bath, or you know, should I have a sleep in bed, or should we just go on like what? There's so much to learn along the way. But I've spoke to other people that have done it, and everybody said it's absolutely horrendous. And one person, he said that he'd done it with his mate, and his mate was so slow towards the end that by the time he was getting in from his 4 miles run, he was almost having to go back out again because it was taking him that long to hobble round the 4 mile loop. So, instead of jogging it in 40 minutes, 45 minutes or something, it's taken him nearly 3 or 4 hours to get back round. So we shall see. It will be an interesting watch. So follow me on the socials. Everything's Damo for Show, Instagram, Facebook, and that. And I will be posting, in the middle of the night and all the effing and jeffing. It will be an experience. Part of me, I quite like an endurance challenge, obviously reading into Goggins and stuff like that. A book I was very inspired by years ago was the story of Sir Ernest Shackleton and his polar exploration. If you don't know about that, have a look into it. It's basically the best survival endurance expedition ever. And it takes them like 2 years to get back home. But that sort of stuff from that era really inspires me to keep going. And when it gets hard and when it gets difficult, it's not actually that difficult. You're in the UK, the weather's all right. You've got an ambulance if you need it. You've got a £100 pair of trainers on. You've got water. It's nothing compared to what polar expeditioners did in 1900s, with no GPS and no nothing else. So that sort of stuff inspires me to just keep pushing on. Stuff like David Goggins, he's also an endurance athlete. You just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And that's the mentality. And part of me quite likes the idea that actually for 48 hours, everything else can do one. I'm not interested in anything else apart from football. All I'm going to be doing is focusing on running, sleeping, eating, running, sleeping, eating, running, sleeping, eating, football. And I kind of like that. I did a little bit of that in 2016. I was in a quite stressful job. I asked for some time off. They wouldn't give me the time off because they said it was too busy. I'm like, I know it's too busy. That's why I'm so stressed. So I actually quit. And I got on my bike. I bought a bike for 200 quid off eBay. I went up to Thurso in Scotland, and I spent 21 days cycling the length of the country. And what was nice is all I was thinking about was cycling and where I'm going to pitch my tent. Cycling, where I'm going to pitch my tent. And sometimes I think as a man of our age, people that are dealing with stress and pressure and hassle, sometimes it's nice to just strip it back and just do something really basic that is also really grueling on you physically, because it changes your mindset. So I'm quite looking forward to it. As much as it's going to be horrible, I'm quite looking forward to it.
Those kind of things, you just learn so much about yourself when you do it. And it's like hitting the reset button. Like when you go out, for guys, as you said, like our age, things like the suicide rates are the highest in males around our age. And when the stress gets so much, and when you're stressed, there's nothing better than to just turn your fucking phone off, go out and beast yourself. When have you ever gone and worked out and challenged yourself and beasted yourself and not felt better afterwards? Ever? When has that ever happened in the history of humanity? Go out, beast yourself, feel better, you learn shit about yourself. It's like literally like hitting the reset button. It's fucking amazing.
So Paddy's just jumped in just to it's only 1 miles per hour, 48 miles, piece of piss. Nah, fuck that. Yeah, no, it's something which, as I said, when I first looked at it, and I was just like, wow, that it almost, if you look at it at face value, you kind of do look at it, you go, yeah, it's not that bad, I suppose. But then when you actually start calculating, crunching numbers, and looking into it deeply, you're like, yeah, that's going to be really, really hard. And honestly, mate, good luck to you. Make sure you do get it in the stories. I mean, myself, and I'm sure Andy will.
I'll share that.
Yes, and hopefully we sort of spread it around the sort of community and sort of see what we can do. I really want. I'm going to be honest. I want to see an Instagram live whilst you're doing a run.
Yeah, that'll be there.
Yeah, that's it. Let us know when you're going to do it. We'll all jump on. We'll see if we can.
Having said that, the signal is pretty shit where I am actually. I might be able to just video and then post it, but I will get a lot of footage. I've got great aspirations to take loads of footage and then edit it all up and make an amazing memory of a video. But as I say, I know what'll happen after we've done a couple. It'll be like, oh fuck the social media. Let's just try and complete the task. But yeah, I'll say you'll definitely see about it. I learned when I did the run to Antwerp. That was in 2019. It worked really well for the sponsorship because not the sponsorship for the sponsorship. I did that one for the University Hospital of Coventry and Warwickshire. So it was for the neonatal ward because my niece and nephew were born premature. So it was nice because people from the hospital and people interested in that sponsored me. But then because I was running, there was 13 days of running. I was doing about 20 miles a day. People that were runners were quite interested in it and sponsored me. And then because I got a beard and I was dressed as Forrest Gump, I had a lot of people from the beard community that also sponsored me. And also because it ran for 2 weeks, I did a live every day at 1 o'clock. It really started to build a following. People were taking their lunch to sit down at 1 o'clock and watch me and see where I am. And because I got into such an horrendous state, there was days when it was pissing down my rain. I was down in Sittingbourne actually. Pissing down with rain. I had horrific blisters and stuff. My feet swelled up to a size 13. I had to bin my trainers and go and buy new trainers. And people actually sponsored me because they felt so sad for me. And I had quite a few people just give me money for beer. They said this isn't for the charity day. Just have a beer tonight. But what I learned from that is that if you are doing a charity event, it really helps if you're doing it for something that's a local cause and for something that's really true to yourself. Don't get me wrong, people jump out of a plane for cancer research and they raise their money. That's fine. Personally, I think a lot of people are doing it for their own experience rather than for what it's for. So if, I've done a few charity events and some of them have been a big success, I definitely recommend do it for something that's local and important to yourself. But if you can also not just be a one-off thing. So if it is jumping out of a plane, once it's done, everyone's forgotten about it. But if it's for a weekend or if it's for a week or if it's for a period of time, people get to follow it and enjoy it. I don't know what I'm going to do actually for the next one coming up, but me and Jason, who's in my beard club, we paddled in a canoe or kayak type thing for 2 days to get to the Oxfordshire Beard Festival, which was a couple of years ago now, dressed as Vikings. So it was great. We had people on the canal, just literally someone in another boat went past and just gave us 50 quid. Guys on a narrow boat give us a load of beer as we were going along. But yeah, if you're going to do a charity event, definitely do it over a couple of days because it gets to get you a bit of traction and get you seen out there and helps you to raise the money. The Antwerp thing I raised with the gift aid. I can't remember whether it was $8,000 or I think it was 10 grand with the gift aid. Which was phenomenal. So yeah, if anyone wants to know how to do charity stuff, message me, I'll give you some tips.
Well, I'll tell you what, Martin, like myself and Martin, we probably will sort of follow yourself on that because we do quite a lot we're trying to do quite a bit of charity work for our rebellion, and we've just done a charity coin which we're just wrapping up, and I think we've managed to raise about £800,000, something like that, for Child Autism UK. That was something which was quite a lot. So we speak to our members and we said, look, this is what you want. So it was something which the UK chapter, this is what we chose together. And it worked out really, really well. It was really nice. But I completely agree. If you're going to do something, then do something which you're passionate about. And I suppose when you're doing Instagram and social media and all stuff like that, it's something which Andy always says, if it's you and you're passionate about it, it's organic. And if it's organic, then your followers will sort of understand that, and it just all flows a lot more naturally. It's a lot easier to do. This was Martin to jumped in earlier, saying about you sort of all your grueling process which you go through. So going back to basics and almost living in a tent and sort of traveling sort of absolutely resets that mentality of sort of just understanding of sort of what you really need. Do you need sort of everything and all your luxuries? Sometimes you do need to go back to basics and sort of, as I said, just
speaking about going back to basics. Actually, if there's a couple of guys that are watching, I experienced something that was brilliant years ago, and I went on a beardcraft 24-hour experience, not beardcraft, sorry, bushcraft 24-hour experience. And you literally go back into the woods and they just teach you build your own shelter. They teach you how to make a fire. You learn everything there is to know about survival, but it's a 24-hour experience. And what I found about that was brilliant was there was no watch, there was no time, there was no phone, there was no emails, nobody could get hold of you. And I couldn't believe how long 24 hours was, because 1 minute I'm building my shelter, and I'm very mindful in the moment. I'm just building my shelter. I'm not doing anything else. Nobody else is distracting me. Nobody else is doing anything. I'm just doing that. And you just think, oh, it must be, flipping nearly dinner time now or nearly tea time, whatever. And it's not. Like, time goes so much slower when you're present in the moment out there in the woods building something. And I genuinely think that men have to go back and do, I think Andy will appreciate this, having done a bit of fighting. I think men need to do stuff in the woods. I think men need to do a little bit of fighting, combative stuff. I think there's some real needs that men don't necessarily get in modern society, that are inherent in our caveman, that I think you need to be outside. I think you need to be in the woods. I think you need to be rolling about fighting something. And I think that's so good for the soul. And a lot of people don't get it, because I'll be guilty of this for the year before I changed things up. Just sat in front of a computer all day, eating sugar, drinking Red Bull, having shit, having pizzas, and just sat in front of a computer. Too much. You got 5 email accounts. You've got 4 social media accounts. You've got 2 phones. It's too much shit. We need to go back to the basics, I think.
But I couldn't agree more. It's like it's part of our DNA. It's going out and fighting, hunter and gathering, like living in the wild. It's literally ingrained in our DNA. And like when you're like doing a job and you're, as you said, like sitting in front of a computer all day, you build up stress. And like what is stress? Stress is like a way for us to be more alert, and then like use that stress to go out and hunt some shit, go out and fight some shit, go and protect some stuff. So you don't really have a proper outlet for it. So you have this stress building up, but our lifestyles, the way we live these days, you don't have a proper outlet for that. And the only way to get an outlet for that is by fucking working out hard, going out and camping and living in the fucking wild, going to hunt some shit, cook some shit, eat that shit. Like that's what it's that simple. Just go out and just, sounds very bad, just go out, be a man for a little while in the middle of nowhere. It's amazing for your soul and your mentality. And you're just getting rid of that stress that builds up in your day-to-day life. You have to go do some like real shit. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, no glamping pods then. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So sort of Martin to sort of jump through, just around says an idea for the board, but I think that's something which Damo, you could probably do sort of in your beard club if you're doing a meet.
Go out in the wild, yeah.
You could sort of do a wild meet, so to speak. We do have sort of just joined in with us, Gareth. Gareth, thanks for joining in, man. Hour and 40 odd minutes in, but thanks for joining in, mate. We really appreciate you sort of joining in. If you've got any questions, and that goes to everyone here who is still here, make sure you drop them in, and we'll sort of fire them across as and when we can. So, Damo, I was talking to you a while ago, and beard competitions is something which I don't touch on so much in sort of my Instagram community, and Andy hasn't really touched on it in his past. You kind of have a history there, you have an understanding there. Talk to us about beard competitions, why they're good, why as a community and sort of people like myself and enthusiasts should get involved in these beard communities, and what's coming up within the UK.
Well, beard competitions are a thing. I did not even realise this. Obviously, we started doing a bit of bearding stuff. We found out about a beard competition that was happening down in Yeovil in Wessex. So we just literally, a couple of us jumped in the car and we went down there to see what it was all about. And I expected it to be some massive like festival thing or some massive, I just thought it was going to be massive, right? And we got there and it's just the back of this little pub. And it's just a load of blokes and some women there as well. And some of them are family friendly as well. So kids just having beers, some people in fancy dress, having a laugh, raising money for charity, and just having a really good time. So that was sort of my first experience of a beard competition. And that was when I got into meeting some of the characters on the beard scene. So there are some guys that have been around for a long time and been competing for a long time. But to keep it simple for newbies that don't know anything, in the UK at least, there's a calendar of competitions throughout the year, and they're very respectful of each other. They never sort of fall on the same weekend, so they'll always sort of, if you want to create one, be careful where you put it. But throughout the year, from February right through to sort of probably October, there's different competitions up and down the country. A lot of them are down in the south. There's like Portsmouth, Yeovil, the Southwest Beards. The first one of the year is up in Glasgow, which is Braw Beards, and they're all very different. They have different venues. I personally think that one of the best ones I've ever been to was the Oxfordshire Beard Festival, because it's run by Susan Faith, who are a mum and daughter combo, and they just go out there and it's really quirky. So the last one they did, it was a wrestler theme, and it wasn't just competing. So, some competitions will have 10 categories, some will have 20, but this one had some quirky categories like best wrestling outfit. There was a tag team twister wrestling ring in the middle, was a competition. Thumb war was a competition. So and they had burlesque women that were presenting it as well, and they had a mud wrestle at the end and stuff, and it was amazing. How have you missed that, Andy? But then, so they're the competitions that are usually run by either a beard or company or just beard people interested in bearding. So that's sort of in the UK, and then there is the British Beard Championships, which is held every 2 years. So this is decided by David Dade and the proper British Beard and Moustache club. They basically, you get to bid and see if you want to be able to hold the competition, and basically it's every 2 years. The last one was supposed to be in Rugby, held by iBeard Club and Whiskers West Midlands. Because of COVID, it's been put back, so I think they're going to do it next year now. But that is sort of the biggest competition. Although it's the British Beard and Moustache Championships, people do flock from abroad to come to it, and they can compete. But it's always, they've got a budget for it. It's sponsored by some people, so it's at a big venue and it's a big old gig. But they have to have about 26 different categories. So anywhere from short beard, business beard, right down to over 12 inches, styled moustache. Like in the moustache categories, there'll be 6 categories of moustaches. There's fake beard, creative beard, so the ladies can join in, the kids can join in.
That's cool.
And that's the British. That's every 2 years. And then you've got across the world is the World Championships, and that is also every 2 years, but it alternates with the British. So basically 1 year you'll have the British, the next year you'll have the Worlds, then the British, then the Worlds. Massive news if guys that are watching don't know about it. So the World Championships should have been in New Zealand this year, but that's been put back now, I think. But the one after New Zealand, actually Britain have won it. So the Wessex guys have actually won the bid to hold the World Championships in England. So that's going to be down in Bristol. And I'm not sure what year it'll be now because everything's gone a bit wonky with COVID. But yeah, I think the British has been going since about 2014, I think. So it's relative for every 2 years. So there hasn't been that many of them. But they are a great place to go to meet other beardy fellows, to get on the stage, have a bit of a laugh. They always raise money for charity, always having a few beers. They have a trade stand as well, Andy, so you want to get your beard team stuff set up there.
Man, the whole time you're talking about this, I'm just thinking, I need to get down there. Man.
And you can also usually sponsor a category as well. So in every category, you'll have a first, second, and third place, and usually they'll win a prize of beard oils or something for first, second, and third. and a little certificate or something. Oh, yeah, let me grab a couple of trophies. I'll show you.
Nice. It sounds cool, man. I need to get involved in this. Like, just to go down and observe it, just go down and watch. It sounds awesome. I bet it's a good bunch of people there.
For example, this was the Wessex one that I went to, and it's one of those little feathers on a handmade plaque of wood with a plaque on it. That was a second that I'd won down in Wessex. The Liver Beards up in Liverpool, that was a messy affair, but I came second, over 6 inches, so you can figure out how long ago that was. But that was their certificate. And then this is one of my favourites. This is from the Oxfordshire Beard Festival. This was the trophy. It's on a hand carved bit of log, because Russell Bristow is a woodsman, and he got that. And then he's basically there because it was a wrestling theme. Each person who won a trophy got one of those. So yeah, they're and you get more traditional stuff, like a little medal and that as well. But it's not often about the trophy. It's always about the trophy. It's more just the taking part.
It's definitely something which sort of me and Andy we've not dived into yet. It's something which our Instagram community, which we sort of thrive in at this point in time, it's something which isn't really spoken about, and it's something which I think it'd be really, really nice to promote, to get lads down that way, and just involved in that type of community, because it's quite surprising. As much as you have sort of great sort of bearded communities, they are very segregated, and it's especially even from sort of Facebook to Instagram, it's all very sort of segregated. So as I said, where we don't deal with that, when I was talking to you about it not too long ago, I was like, this is amazing. Like, why have I never thought of going down to one of these before? And it's something which I think would be really, really good to sort of promote on sort of our side. And as you said, even for Andy to sort of go down there and have his own sort of little sort of company stall, or sort of even other big small batch companies, to, if they can, have that opportunity to go down there and sort of once again get involved in another community and try and promote themselves, which I think ultimately that's what we should be doing. We should be trying to pull everyone together and just have a laugh. And
well, here's where you can put your money where your mouth is, Dan. The next competition they're hoping to hold, it's been announced, it is this year, and it's going to be in Derbyshire, and it's called Beard On, and it's run by Mick Wallage and all his guys. Mick Wallage has got a massive set of chops, and he's actually a double world champion, so he's won the world championships for having the best chops, which is quite an accolade. The Brits actually do quite well at the last Worlds. We actually did quite well. There's like a team of us that went over. But I digress. So Beard On is in Derbyshire. It's on Saturday, October the 30th. It's a tenner to compete. It all goes to the charity, and it's for prostate cancer. That's quite close to Mick's heart, I know. They have a live band on. Last time I was there, they had the Blues Brothers, like a tribute band, but they were absolutely banging. I say, Andy, get in touch with Mick, because they've probably got space for you for if you want to stall there. It's £2 for spectators, but a lot of people I know, and I just read in the comments that Gareth said he'd love to go, but doesn't know if he'd compete. A lot of people go and they're a bit scared to compete, but actually it's such a friendly community. You regret it if you don't. I remember my first competition, I didn't actually compete. I just went and supported people that had bigger, better beards than me. But it is not all about the beard. And actually, usually the judges vary from 3 to 6 to 7, and they're usually characters from the beard scene. Doc, you could easily get on the panel and be a judge with your vast experience and now your connections. But yeah, you're usually judged, and they have sort of, they're ticking boxes in that. But it's not just about the beard; it's about sort of your stage presence as well. And one of the biggest categories is, or one of the most eccentric categories is freestyle, which I'm sure you've seen when people get the hairspray and things. But they wear the fancy dress as well. So I guarantee that any beard competition you go to, you will see a wizard, a Viking, a pirate, and something else that you're like, what the hell is that? And sometimes I remember I was at the Worlds and I was hanging because I'd had a few the night before. Bear in mind, I'd ran a long way to get there. But I was at the Worlds and I looked around the room from afar and I was like, is this a beard competition or is this just a place where older blokes just get dressed up and get pissed? Because it was just full of blokes that have done all this crazy shit with their beards. They're all having beers and they're just having a laugh about beards. It was just, it's quite a phenomenal cool thing to experience. But you absolutely should get along, and get on the stage and compete.
I've seen a few pictures of like the beard or the freestyle stuff. There's some I've seen one guy does like a kraken, and it's all like these octopus tentacles. Yeah. I've seen one dude that's made his beard into a bowl. He's like eating noodles out of his beard and stuff like that. Yeah. I love that kind of. It's fucking awesome.
I think one of the most outrageous one I'd seen was a bird cage where he'd actually put his head in a cage. And I actually went on a TV show called Hair Wars, and it was like hairdressers were styling different hairs for different competitions and that to go. And they had one where they had to style a beard. So they had about 5 or 6 of us on the show, and this creative stylist of mine dressed me up like a crow and put an actual like fake crow coming out of my beard. Another lad had his face turned into a cuckoo clock, and I had a hat on it. And then there was a sailor. It was epic actually. They'd made him look like he'd just been dragged out of the sea, and they made his beard look like an anchor. And then he actually had looked like jizz all over his face. It looked like he was wet. It was great. But they were obviously professional stylists, but these beard competitions they're mostly just a bit of a laugh. But as I say, they always support a charity, and it is a great way to meet other people on the beard scene and sort of make those connections. It's really nice as well to see people in real life because it's so internet based, and certainly when I was doing the beard club prior, there was loads of people that would watch, when I do my competitions and stuff, but I'd never met them in real life. And then you get to the competition, and it's like people know you, but you don't. But you don't really know. I mean, you don't know that because you're used to seeing a little tiny profile picture like that.
Yeah.
And but then it's really nice to actually connect with people in real life when actually they do know. Certainly from my perspective, where I do try to be out there and I am doing stuff, and people can watch a lot of what I do and who I am. They do, know quite a bit about me. So it's nice to sort of get a chance to find out a bit about them and have a beer with them. It's nice.
That's awesome. I'm definitely going to come back to the next one. I definitely need to get involved in this. It sounds fucking awesome.
Well, I've just done. Someone mentioned it. I did an interview about the beard competition with Mick Wallage, and it's got the link on it. It's Eventbrite, so you can actually get signed up and find out the details. Just have a Google for. Well, it'll be on my Damo for Show YouTube. I don't do much on YouTube, just sporadically. Most of my awesome stuff is behind the scenes in DBFC.
You gotta join up if you wanna know what's going on. But we've got Scott Evans, who has just joined in with us, managed to catch the last bit. That is the last bit. We are hitting our 2-hour mark, and we are going to pull that one in. So what I will say, Damo, it's been fantastic to sort of have you in here today.
Thanks for coming.
We've talked about. Hopefully, I think we've covered everything. We've sort of talked about your beard club, your beard products, and pretty much we haven't touched a Damo pose. Unfortunately, no, we didn't. I tell you what,
you'll have to Google it.
Yeah, I tell you what, jump onto Damo's Instagram page or his Facebook, or even drop him a message and ask what the Damo pose is all about. It's something which he's famous for. So to speak. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. And make sure you do jump on to Damo for Show. Jump onto his Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's all there. All the socials are there. He's extremely active. So hopefully he'd respond to you pretty soon. So what I will say, Damo, as I said, thanks for coming down to us today, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me on, mate. And nice to meet you as well, Andy, because we hadn't chatted. So thanks, guys. I will be seeing you in person hopefully very soon.
Definitely, mate. Definitely, guys, have a good one. Love to chat to you both. Everyone for listening. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you again.
I might sign out.
Andy, sign us out, mate.
Stay safe. Stay bearded. Peace out.